this Tuesday, July 27th, 2021. I am your host, Russ Williams. I'm so glad you could be here today. I am quite aware, ladies and gentlemen, I am quite aware you could have been anywhere in this world today. I know it's summer, people on vacation, but I know you could have been anywhere in this world today. And you decided to be here with me. And I appreciate that. And more importantly, I appreciate you. So welcome to Transition Tuesdays, ladies and gentlemen, on this lovely, I think it's like 80, 85-degree day here in New York City. What a lovely day. What a lovely day to be with you guys each and every Tuesday here on Transition Tuesday. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Man, hey, before we start the show today, I always like to state my intentions for the show. And my intentions is to give you the opportunity to laugh, smile, think, and engage in honest conversations about your life's transition. So that's what we do here on Transition Tuesdays on this lovely day today. Lovely day. Well, every day above ground is a lovely day. So let me just start off by saying that first of all. But hey, we're going to talk about honest conversation. And what I really want to talk about today, we're not going to be here long today. No guests today. So it is me and the Transition Army, my favorite peeps. I'm here with my peoples today. So I want to talk about, and I want to transition to, and I want to have honest conversation about the Tokyo Olympics that's going on right now. Are you guys watching these Olympics here on NBC? Are you guys watching the extensive coverage that's going to be on for more than 2 weeks, of competition, human competition, which is a cool thing. So have you guys been watching this? And have you seen, have you been a part of some of the highlights? Some of the highlights I jotted down. You have that high school swimmer who won gold medal, won gold, and she's from Alaska. And I think the great reaction was seeing her classmates, man, seeing her rooting her on from afar on video, man. That was classic there. That could have been a competition there itself, the way they rooted for that young lady. That was cool. Her winning the gold medal for Alaska. That was cool. Also, I remember seeing I think it's the woman weightlifter from, where was she from? I'm gonna say, where's Pacquiao from? Oh man, it's escaping me. Somebody come up with me for me if you could. But she won a gold medal, the first gold medal for that country. In the history, man. That was big. That's good to see. Also, another cool thing that I saw when I was watching some highlights was, did you guys get a chance to see that basketball robot was taking free throws and 3-pointers? And did you see the form of that robot? Man, I mean, the elbow was in perfectly. That guide hand was perfect there, shooting those free throws and 3-pointers and swishing them each and every time. Man, are we gonna be replaced by robots? I don't know, man. That looked like a tough opponent if you had to go against a robot. But that was cool. So that was some of the highlights that I've seen thus far. But I want to talk about these Olympics, and I want to also talk about, man, I want to talk, first off, we're going to talk about a lot of things about the Olympics. But first off, I want to talk about the men's basketball team losing the first game to France. Oh man, that was a shocker, because here in the United States, there's basketball arrogance, here in the United States for our beloved basketball. People that love to watch the sports and everything like that. We discovered the sport, so we should never lose, right? So, and I think a lot of times it makes more news because we're expected to just romp and roll, and win games. But it makes more news when the teams like the NBA teams lose a game, and they lost to France. And France is a very cohesive team. They played with each other. You have Rudy Gobert. You have the guy who plays for the Boston Celtics, who went ballistic. He went bonkers. He went off. He was doing his thing. But I think you're seeing the United States is seeing that sometimes it's hard to get together an all-star team in short notice, especially when the stars aren't coming to play, like your LeBron Jameses, your Steph Currys and everything like that. So sometimes we're not getting the best out there, but we're getting some great players, obviously. But we're getting like that. I guess I'm equating it to like an all-star game in which the subs. We got the subs, you know, not the starting five, you know, not that first 10, but it looks like we're getting the reserves, you know, representing our country, which is a bad thing because these guys are still the best players to pick up a basketball in the world right now, you know. So, but it's tough to get a gauge on it and a little patchwork together, you know, like guys like Devin Booker came in, you know, Drew Holiday came just fresh off the finals. You got Chris Middleton coming in, you know, fresh off the finals, you know, and trying to be a part of a cohesive unit, you know. So it's tough, and we're seeing that, you know. I'm assuming, and I think we're seeing that you know, the other countries, the world is catching up to the United States in basketball. You have a, you know, dominance worldwide. You know, you see a lot of countries are very good. You know, so are they catching up with us? Maybe. You know, but when you get together a collective all-star team for the Olympics at short notice, you know, they lose the first game. I don't see them losing the rest of the tournament personally. But you know, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And again, it'll be a shock if they lose. That makes news. Whereas if they win, going to win. And a couple of things I had questions about was Greg Popovich. You know, he's the coach of the team. I don't know, Greg. I think Coach Pop has been struggling these past couple of years. I mean, you know, in terms of the NBA, and you know, is he relatable to these players of today? You know, because this guy's like, you know, from West Point, not from West Point, from the Air Force Academy, very strict, you know, stingent on the players. You know, he was that for the past. You know, it's a new type of player. Maybe he might be a little bit off the fastball by Coach Pop. I don't know. You know, that might be a question to ask. And my second question to ask was, why is KD, Kevin Durant, playing in these Olympics? That's the question I have. He's a guy who, got to keep in mind, guys, this guy's came off of COVID. I mean, well, before that, he had that devastating Achilles, you know, rupture, you know, in 2019, right? Then he's, you know, he comes back, makes his way back through that. You know, he did have COVID, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget about that. Maybe it could be some effects of COVID, but he survives that, which is great. Survives the NBA rigors of the NBA season, does well, you know, unscathed, because a lot of the NBA players were hurt this year. They got hurt during the playoffs, but he survived that. So next thing you know, he's playing in the USA basketball, you know, and he's got 2 gold medals already. So I don't know, there's really nothing to prove. So I'm just wondering why KD is even out there playing. I know they needed his services last game, even though they lost, you know, and he's that viable star that the Olympics bank on, you know, star power. But, you know, in defense to KD, I'm just thinking, why you out there, my man? You don't need to be. There's nothing to prove. You've done it all. You had a successful year this year. You know, why is he out there playing? That's just me personally. I don't know. But you got 2 gold medals already when you're making a try, you know, a hat trick, I guess, with the gold medals. I don't know, but I don't know, that boggles the mind for me. But you know, those are some of the things that's going on, you know, with that. But and again, the USA basketball, the men's are going to be playing again. I'm sure they're going to romp through the rest of these opponents as well. And we got Karen checking in. What's going on, Karen? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. Appreciate you having you on. And you know, some other highlights too. I'm seeing like the first year of 3-on-3 basketball. I see the women are winning. They won all their games thus far, which is cool. That's a cool thing. And you know, with these Olympics, you get a chance to see sports you rarely would see, like, you know, water polo or team handball. You know, I'm noticing stuff like that. Or now this is the first year of the what is it? Not roller skating. It's oh, it's escaping my skateboarding. You know, it's like the street version of it, which is a cool thing. So you know, you're seeing these different things, you're seeing these different events that you wouldn't see, you know, on your regular TV or what have you. So it's cool. You know, it's cool. But you know, we'll see. We'll see what goes on with the men's team. The women's team, they won yesterday. I think they beat Nigeria. I think it was yesterday. They beat them. So and again, the women's dominance is really unprecedented as well. So we'll see how that goes. But the biggest story of the Olympics thus far, man, I'm going to have to read this, is Simone Biles has withdrawn from the women's gymnastics finals, the women's team gymnastics finals, that version there. And we got Donna. Say, what's going on, Donna? Donna says, what about all the mental health issues and athletes walking away from the events? Donna, we're going to talk about that right now. Donna, you beat me to the punch here. Wait, hold on. Oh, hang tight for me, Donna. Hang tight, because I want to get your perspective on this, especially you with the mental health, So I want to get your perspective on it. But Simone Biles had withdrawn from the women's team gymnastics final. She said it was important that she protect her mental well-being. There we go, Donna. And that athletes were, quote, people at the end of the day. And she also went on to say, I had to do this. I had to do what's right for me. And she is absolutely right, And keep in mind, and my boy Rob Banner, who was on here 2 weeks ago on Transition Tuesdays, he made a good point about sports. He mentioned how sports is more mental than it is physical. And I think Rob even quoted by saying, he said it's like maybe 90% mental and 10% physical. And again, we need to worry about and be dealing with people's well-being. You have Naomi Osaka, the tennis player. She bowed out today as well. And I know she cited mental health as well, mental health issues. We have to, make sure, as for athletes' perspective, that you're all there mentally. And, and here's a lady like Simone Biles, who is like the celebrated, participant of these Olympics, but she talked about, hey, I had to do what's right for me. And she's getting banged on big time for saying like, did she not take it to the account in this particular event, which is team gymnastics, was she letting down her teammates by doing this? A lot of people are banging on her for that, but like she said, I had to do what I had to do, and mental, you got to be in the mind frame of mind mentally before you can do anything physically. So, I really applaud, and I really applaud Simone Biles for, letting her know that she wasn't, like she mentioned in one of her tweets, she says, feels like the weight of the world is on her, and that's a mental thing, about the mental wellness. So, I really applaud what she did. She said, I had to do this for me. And because of that, the United States, they lost to Russia. Russia won the gold medal. The United States won the silver. But hey, Simone Biles is her own entity, her own person. She said, hey, I got to do it. I got to do it for me. And keep in mind now, she withdrew from the team competition, but I'm sure she's going to be back for the individual competition, because if you don't know, or you should know, the Olympics celebrates individualism. I mean, that's the way it is. Bottom line is, it brings up those people on the individual level. You got just team sports like hockey and, basketball and stuff like that. But the Olympics is a celebration of the individual. So if you notice, Simone Biles will be back for the individual competitions because, hey, and I don't blame her for that. I definitely don't blame her for that. But, I just want to ask everybody out there, is it fair to bang on her because of her decision that she made? Granted, they didn't win a gold medal, but she's taking care of her interests. She's taking care of her brand, by saying she wasn't mentally in it, and she was letting her team down by saying she wasn't mentally equipped, to continue and finish out the team competition. So, I think it's totally unfair and unjust that people are banging on her because of that. You got to take care of you, and mental health goes a long way. So Donna, yeah, what about all those mental health issues and athletes walking away from the events? Yep, Simone Biles, I applaud her. Osaka, I applaud her. In the NBA ranks, you had oh my God, people escaping me, man. But not DeAndre. What's the guy? He plays for the Spurs. Speaking of the Spurs, he had some mental health issues that he wanted to have addressed. So people take a break, take a beat back, take a step back. This is important. The mental health is important, man, in what we do. Because if you don't have the mental health, you really have nothing, man, to really compete out there as an athlete. Donna says her decision was forced by the judges who said, let me see real quick. So Donna says her decision was forced by the judges who said they would lessen her scores because of her talent. Hmm. Oh my God. Yeah, that's crazy. That's insane, you know. But again, and you got to think about the gymnast, you know, the event of gymnastics. I mean, you got some shady dealings going on from judges to all type of stuff behind the scenes. So yeah, but you know, there's no question that Simone Biles is talented. You know what I mean? So I really applaud her by saying, hey, look, she didn't want to jeopardize the, you know, the process with her teammates because she wasn't performing up to stuff because she wasn't mentally in there, so to speak, you know, to really fulfill her duties as a good teammate. But there she was when her, you know, when she did her performance, she knew she wasn't gonna, you know, continue on, but there she was cheering on her teammate. So that's a good thing. That should tell you something about Simone Biles as the individual. Hey, Nettie, what's going on? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. My cousin said, what's up, cousin? What's going on, cuz? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays to you, hun. Welcome, welcome, welcome from the D. What up, though? Yeah, so, you know, mental wellness, very important. And, you know, with these Olympics and, you know, and mental health for athletes and just people in general, you know, our mental health sometimes comes into question, but you got to take care of your mental health before you can do anything. And you know, I wanted to propose. You know, I wanted to talk about this too, which is important. I think it's very important. You know, you got the COVID rate rising in Tokyo. You got the empty arenas that's going on. You know, these games are being played in front of empty arenas because of the threat of, you know, of the spreading a virus or what have you. This is taking place in the Olympics. You have constant protests from the people of Tokyo. You have people out front. I don't know if they're covering this a lot. They probably won't be, but a lot of people in Tokyo feel that these Olympics should never have taken place. So you have constant protest out there as well. Now, so I ask you, do you think these Olympics should be taking place, period, based on what's going on? I mean, with this new strand, you know, this Delta virus, this Delta variant, Delta strand of, you know, new strand of COVID. Um, you know, some would say, should this be taking place? Should have taken place? Should it ever taken place? And now that we're in the midst of it, I mean, I think some athletes have come down with COVID or tested for COVID, and you know, should this Olympics be taking place? And I would say, you know, I can answer that a little bit. I can speak on that. I think is you know, when Tokyo got the Olympics, you know, years past, they had to build a stadium. I think it was $1 billion stadium that they had to build for track and field venue and everything. So money is tied into this. So, you know, it's the bottom line is the show must go on because there's a lot of money invested in this, you know. But a telltale sign is you have a sponsor like Toyota who backed out of the Olympics, and you know, they backed out of it. But I guess people want to recoup their money because these Olympics were to take place in 2020, but you had the pandemic, so it was canceled to 2021. So, but it's all about recouping the money, as we know, and you know, the show must go on. And you know, you feel for those. And again, I can see what the IOC maybe had to come to the, you know, conclusion of, should we continue to have it because we're tired of the money? And also, you got to think about the athlete. Some people have worked all their lives to get to the Olympics, and then suddenly, you know, their dreams are crushed just like that due to no fault of their own. You know, these are things I'm sure the IOC had to weigh. You know, money being a price tag, but you know, people's hopes and dreams being snuffed out, not to the fault of their own. So I guess with that, you know, the show must go on. The show must go on. So, you know, we'll see on that. But right, you know, right now it's been very interesting. It's been very interesting, the Olympics, and you know, we're going to see if the Olympic team, the men are going to win. They should win. No, the women should win. I know in other swimming events, I think you have the GOAT. They call the young lady the GOAT, Hideki. I forget her name. I forget her name. Oh man, her name escapes me. I guess that's what happens when you get a little older. You know, you forget names. But I'm just visualizing her. I know they said she's the GOAT, and she lost recently in one of her meets, but I think she has many more to go. And I think she's going to be swimming today. Her name escapes me. If anybody knows her name, just type it there for me. But her name escapes me. But yeah, but these events are going to be coming up. Track and field. I can't wait to see track and field. I love track and field. I love seeing the athletes participate, in the track and field events, 100-meter dash, the whole that 220s and 400 meters and the hurdles and all that, and the decathlons and all that good stuff. So I look forward to seeing that. So I guess I'm going to continue watching, and I'm going to be watching Simone Biles because I know she's going to be back for the individual. She's going to get, because again, all that weight is going to be placed upon her. The team competition is, they didn't win that, but they did medal, which is great. So, like she said, she got to take care of herself, and I'm sure she's going to do well in the individual events. And I'm sure she'll come home with gold, but there's so much pressure placed upon her, and that can work on your mental. That can definitely work on your mental as an athlete. And as she says, because all in all, athletes are human beings, are just that, with flaws, and have to deal with mental wellness as well. So, I'm going to continue watching. Now, are you going to continue watching? Hope you do. Because again, it dominates the 2 weeks of you. We don't have any more basketball. And shout out to the Bucks, for winning the championship. I was totally surprised. I thought the Suns would win that. I think a lot of people thought so too. So it's kind of like a reverse sweep there. They won 4 games in a row, the Milwaukee Bucks. Then you had Giannis with the 50 burger, at the end, the closeout. So now shout out to the Milwaukee Bucks for winning the championship. I know you got the NBA draft, so those basketball fans, you got the NBA draft, and then that's it for basketball. So we got to rely on these Olympic Games. If you're a basketball junkie, watch the 3-on-3 competition, men's and women's. Watch the men's and women's basketball as well. And see what goes on, and watch our Olympians, do their thing, and just make sure we're checking on their mental wellness, because that's important. That's important. Checking on the mental wellness of individuals is so important. Oh, so Donna says, let me just see here, and we got my man Peter joining us too. What's going on, Peter? Welcome to Transition Tuesdays. So Donna says they are trying to break our women down mentally because they can't beat them physically. How are you going to compete fairly if the rules change daily? Absolutely. I agree with you with that. Yeah. Yep. Can't do that though. I mean, you got these conditioned athletes like a Simone Biles and everybody else in the Olympic Games. They are so mentally strong that they can't be broken. They can't be broken. You could try to do things to change the rules, and because they're so talented. I think it was I'm not sure. Don't quote me on this, ladies and gentlemen, but I think there was rules changed for Simone Biles in our competition because she's just that good, but that doesn't stop people like that, like a Simone Biles and other athletes who are strong in the mental, who don't let anything break them down. And Donna says, I think this will be the last big event. The CDC may be urging even vaccinated people to mask up again. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, that's a good point that you bring up, Donna, about vaccinated people masking up again. I've heard that. Yep, the CDC just came down with that, and man, I tell you, it's so hard to keep up with when you should be wearing a mask, when you should be wearing a mask, if you're vaccinated. I don't know. What I do is, for me personally, ladies and gentlemen, I just wear a mask, just regard. I mean, if I'm going to be out and about, I'm going to wear a mask. If I'm going to be going into a restaurant or like big crowds or what have you, I'm gonna definitely have a mask on. So that's what I do personally. That's just me. So because there's so many rules and so many things change on the fly as well. So, but me, if you ask me, I'm sure you're asking me. Oh, you didn't ask me, but I just share with you. With me, I just keep on the mask. When in doubt, wear the mask. That's how I look at it. That's how I definitely see it. And Donna says she wants to see the relays. Yeah, I want to see the relays as well. We got Donna says, let me see. Donna says, imagine the coach telling telling you to shave points. That's why Shimon can't perform well. She's being forced to scale down to not dominate everyone else. It's insane. I hope that's not the case, you know, shaving points in the whole nine. I mean, when you got a talent like Simone Biles, you know, I'm sure that's not the case. But again, when you're not as talented by an exceptional athlete like her, people probably go to all means to try to, you know, stop you or stuff like that. But that ain't stopping that young lady. I know that for a fact. Pete says he's happy to be here. Hey, Peter, man, how did you know, how did your candidate do? How did my man do? Hollis, how did he do? Is he the new mayor? Is he the new mayor of Brooklyn Park, Minnesota? Let us know. Let us know, man, because we had Hollis on here a couple of months ago. I know he was running, and I'm sure he got the nod. So you know, I'm just looking forward to him doing great things there in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Absolutely. Donna says also, I never stop wearing my mask. I believe that too. I'm with you on that, Donna, too. Absolutely. Yeah, huh? Mm-hmm. And Peter says, shout out to Ahmed, and I'm going to spell the last name because I'm not going to butcher it. It's Hafnaoui. Shout out to you, Ahmed. All right. And what's that shout out for, Peter? Don't tell me. Oh, okay. Oh, so Peter says, yep, the election is on August the 10th. Okay, cool. All right. So then we'll know. So that we'll know, and then we'll have Hollis back on. So Peter, we need to negotiate having Hollis back on to talk of us about the rigors of the campaign and what he's going to be doing to help out the people there in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Okay, so we got to make that happen, Peter. Okay, me and you, we got to make that happen. Okay, we can do that off air. All righty. So, ladies and gentlemen, if we were able to allow you, if we were able to make you laugh, smile, and think during this broadcast, my good friends, you have accomplished something major. So celebrate your victory. Celebrate your victory. All right. Oh, and Peter says that's the Turkish swimmer. And he says won the goal from lane 8. Man. So I'm assuming, Peter. Now again, I'm not a enthusiast of swimming, but I guess the outside lanes is tougher to win a swimming event? Maybe. And Donna says Simone Biles is so dominant that the scoring rules are holding her back for the safety of others and keeping competitions closer than they should be. See that you know, that's what happens, Donna, when you're the GOAT of your sport. You know, they do everything to hold you down, but people like that don't happen. It can't happen. It doesn't happen for those. They break through that. They get the tunnel vision, and then they just finish it off physically what they got to do. So nah, that's not gonna be a problem on it at all. It's not gonna be a problem at all. Let's see. So, like I said, celebrate your victory, ladies and gentlemen. Celebrate your victory, as these Olympic athletes are celebrating their victories in their particular event. So yeah, shout out to them as well. Let me see, hold on 1 second. I want to play my theme music here, coming up. Hold on, if I can get it here. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you guys for joining me on Transition Tuesdays each and every Tuesday. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys so much, man. I really do. And if you miss my show here or other episodes, you can always go to our YouTube channel, Transition Tuesdays. And when you're on the channel, please like and subscribe before you leave the channel. So important. I would greatly appreciate that. You can also follow me on Instagram or IG, as the young people say, at Russ Will Transitions. That's Russ Will Transitions with an S. Okay, please join me there. Okay. And also, I want to give a shout out to the Transition Army. All right, to you guys, the Transition Army. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna give you guys applause. Okay. I'm going to give you guys applause for joining me each and every Tuesday, because I know your schedules are busy. You still join, and I appreciate you guys. So I'm appreciating you guys, and I'm shouting you guys out today. All righty? let's continue on with the theme music. Yes, yes. Also, when you leave here today, hey, make sure you go to sweetcandycafe.com. That's sweetcandycafe.com, all right, which is the home of Southern Sweetness in Lumberton, North Carolina. It's one of our big sponsors here with us today. Check them out. Your confectionery needs and wants and desires and wishes are all there at sweetcandycafe.com. Because here on Transition Tuesdays, we support small businesses, all right? So, ladies and gentlemen, Transition Army, as we say in parting, happy transitioning, and we'll speak to you soon. Take care, everybody. God bless.